Many of the clips that I'm going to play here are some of President Trump's more serious efforts here. The reality is that the speech was hilarious. It was so funny. I mean, truly, truly, truly funny. There were many moments that were hilariously funny, but obviously the overall tenor of the speech was triumphal, but it had its serious moments for sure. President Trump said that there are two messages that America understands when it comes to Israel: never forget and never again.
And to all the families whose lives were forever changed by the atrocities of that day, and all of the people of Israel, please know that America joins you in those two everlasting vows: never forget and never again.
The president also laid out what comes next, and that is not just the return of hostages, but a fully disarmed Hamas and a demilitarized Gaza. How that happens is still up in the air. Right? Phase one has been solved, but if the president does what he has pledged to do and applies pressure to all of the erstwhile Arab allies and Muslim allies of Hamas, then Hamas will have very few choices left. Again, there have been ongoing firefights over the course of the last few days inside the Gaza Strip between Hamas and other tribes attempting to gain control. Several dozen people have been killed already by Hamas. So this is going to be an effort. But the president said that he intends to ensure that the commitments that he made and that the international community made are kept, and that Hamas is disarmed and Gaza demilitarized.
This long and difficult war has now ended. You know, some people say 3,000 years, some people say 500 years, whatever it is. It's the granddaddy of them all. And in an unprecedented achievement, virtually the entire region has endorsed the plan that Gaza will be immediately demilitarized, that Hamas will be disarmed, and Israel's security will no longer be threatened in any way, shape, or form.
And with that done, the president also talked about what he hoped would come next, and that was a golden age for Israel, a golden age in the Middle East, peace breaking out all over. And that is the hope. The president of the United States got it done in his first term with Morocco, with UAE, with Bahrain. And the president intends to now expand that out to include places like Syria, like Saudi Arabia, like Indonesia.
We also convey my tremendous appreciation for all of the nations of the Arab and Muslim world that came together to press Hamas to set the hostages free and to send them home. We had a lot of help. We had a lot of help from a lot of people that you wouldn't suspect, and I want to thank them very much for that. It's an incredible triumph for Israel and the world to have all of these nations working together as partners in peace. And it's pretty unusual for you to see that, but it happened in this case. This was a very unusual point in time, a brilliant point in time. Generations from now, this will be remembered as the moment that everything began to change, and change very much for the better. Like the USA right now, it will be the golden age of Israel and the golden age of the Middle East. It's going to work together.
We'll get to more on this in a moment. First, picture this. You walk over to your computer, pull up your entire browsing history, you hit print, and then you nail those pages to your front door for every neighbor to see. Well, that would make you a crazy person, right? But the problem is that's essentially what happens every single day unless you protect yourself with ExpressVPN. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Your ISP, your internet provider, can see every single website you've ever visited, even when you're browsing in incognito mode. In many countries, they're actually required to keep detailed logs of your online activity for years, just in case the government wants to take a look. And if you're in the US, it gets even worse because ISPs can literally sell your personal browsing data to whomever they want. Now, you can't stop that ISP from trying to collect the information, but you can make sure they don't get it in the first place, and that's where ExpressVPN comes in. It encrypts all your online activity before it even reaches your internet provider. It turns their logs into complete gibberish. I use ExpressVPN all the time. On the road right now, I'm using public Wi-Fi or hotel Wi-Fi. I got to use ExpressVPN. Plus, it's simple to use. One tap on any device, phone, laptop, tablet, whatever. You know your privacy is now completely locked down. Find out how you can get 4 months free by scanning the QR code on screen, clicking that link in the description box below, or by heading on over to expressvpn.com/Ben Shapiro Show. Perhaps the funniest moment of the speech came when the president called on President Isaac Herzog, Bougie Herzog of Israel, to pardon Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. So Netanyahu, of course, has been under indictment for a couple of what can best be described as ticky-tack offenses, if they occurred. It's a little complex to get into right now. Suffice it to say that lawfare has been unleashed on Netanyahu in much the same way that it was unleashed on President Trump. Isaac Herzog doesn't have the unilateral capacity to pardon Bibi Netanyahu. He has to go through some sort of committee, is apparently the way that it works over here in Israel. But President Trump, in front of everybody, in front of the Knesset, in front of everyone, called on Herzog to try to pardon Netanyahu because he says, listen, you have right here a war leader, a highly successful war leader, and you're going to go after him because he supposedly took some champagne and cigars or something. Here's the president. Again, there are many, many applause lines. This one was one of the bigger ones.
And this man is a good man right here. These two men are good men right here. Hey, I have an idea. Mr. President, why don't you give him a pardon? Give him a pardon. Come on. By the way, that was not in the speech, as you probably know. But I happen to like this gentleman right over here, and it just seems to make so much sense. You know, whether we like it or not, this has been one of the greatest wartime presidents. This has been one of the greatest wartime presidents. And cigars and champagne, who the hell cares about that?
And finally, the president ended by saying that what would come next was something bigger, better, and stronger. A bigger, better, and stronger Israel. Obviously, Israelis are grateful to him. Civilization should be grateful to the presidents of the United States, because let's be real about this entire conflict. This conflict has been between a death cult in Hamas and its supporters in the Gaza Strip, in Judea and Samaria, yes, in Qatar, yes, in Iran, yes, in Syria, yes, in Lebanon, and a Western civilized country attempting to fight for its own existence and preservation. The president says, listen, everybody who's gone to war with Israel has lost. Everybody who's gone to war with the Trump administration has ended up worse for the wear. And so what comes next is a bigger, better, stronger Israel. And as soon as Israel's opponents recognize that and seek to make peace, then you will get a burgeoning, bustling region that is headed for peace and growth. Here is the president ending his speech.
I love Israel. I'm with you all the way. You will be bigger, better, stronger, and more loving than ever before. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And God bless the Middle East. Thank you, everybody. Good luck. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So again, what does this mean in practical terms? Well, it's not all over. The president of the United States flew directly from Israel to Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt to meet with a bunch of foreign leaders. Prime Minister Netanyahu was going to go to it, but it turns out that it's a Jewish holiday, which, again, is starting like very, very shortly. So I'm going to be running out of here pretty quickly, actually. But the president of the United States will be headed over there to try and negotiate what comes next in the Gaza Strip. Over the weekend, he was on Air Force One, and he said, you know, right now, Gaza's a demolition site, but now there's a chance at something better.
If the ceasefire does hold, how long until we get to the part of the 20-point peace plan where developers can go in and make Gaza the Riviera of the Middle East?
Well, I don't know about the Riviera for a while, because you take a look at what you have. You have to get people taken care of first. But it's going to start really essentially immediately. I mean, they're going to have to start by removing a lot of the structures that you see that are down to the ground. I mean, it's blasted. This is like a demolition site. Almost the entire site is. So you have to get rid of what you have there. You have structures that are very dangerous. They're falling down. If they haven't fallen, they're going to fall down of their own volition. So that process, Peter, is going to start pretty much immediately.
In that way. Like a year from now, in your view?
Well, a year, that's very quick. But over the years, it'll look very good. It'll be. It's got the first chance it's had in centuries of being peaceful. It's always been a very, very strange area. It's always been loaded up with problems, religious problems, problems like no other place probably in the world. And I think it's going to normalize. All you can say, if it normalizes, that would be fantastic.
And what does that mean for the United States? Well, the vice president of the United States on Meet the Press with Kristen Welker, and he said, the goal here is not for the United States to have boots on the ground in Israel or Gaza. And let's be real about this. Israel does not want American boots on the ground in Israel or Gaza. Safety has to be secured, but not at the cost of American boots on the ground. Here was the vice president.
So we have people in that region of the world who are going to monitor parts of this peace proposal, but the president is not planning to put boots on the ground in Israel.
What about Gaza? Will U.S. troops ever be sent into Gaza? Just yes or no?
That's what I mean, Kristen. He is not planning to put boots on the ground in Gaza or Israel.
Okay.
We're going to have Central Command troops that are already there that are going to monitor this peace proposal. We've actually had, and this is one of the great successes of the president's diplomacy, from Indonesia to the Gulf Arab states.
Okay.
We've had a number of Muslim majority countries offer to step up and have them put troops on the ground to secure Gaza. It's not going to be necessary for American troops to be in Gaza.
So, it's rare to say this, but it is a time of hope in the Middle East. It is a time of hope because the president of the United States did something transformative. He did something different, something new, and something truly miraculous. He thought realistically about the problem and then solved it. He provided aid to an American ally so they could actually win a war. He applied pressure in all the right places. He ensured that Israel could achieve its war aims, and also that other countries would understand that if that happened, it was not only not a danger to them, it was a possibility for the future. There's a reason that Israel is in love with President Trump. Israel believes many of the same things about President Trump that MAGA supporters in the United States believe about President Trump, that he is a person trying to help people, that he is a person who understands the world realistically. It's a triumph for Trump, no question about it. We'll just have to see how far that triumph extends as we move forward into what I think everyone can hope and pray is a brighter future for the region. Well, that's all for now, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below. Be sure to check out all of the other great content on my channel. I'll see you here next time.